All right, hey there, we're going to do some gluing down on acrylic skins to make jewelry. And I've got lots of pieces to do, but I want to show you basically what I do here. This is Lily Glaze. It's from the website lillyds.com, which is on the label here, LILLYDS.com. This is the glue I've been using to make my jewelry with the acrylic skins. And another recommendation is diamond glaze. I have not used this yet, and I'm going to wait till I'm finished with this one before I open this one up. But this is a very popular glaze for jewelry making, diamond glaze or glue. And you can order your jewelry pieces from Amazon or Etsy shops. I got mine from Lily D's. They have wonderful, cute, and beautiful accessories, and they come in kits which offer the glass, which is called a cabochon, and like this is a brass setting, so it's an antique brass. So there's a tray, and I may have gotten this one at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and I got the rest, and I'll show you others too. But so here are two pierced earring holders. These are the holders. There's two glass pieces that will go in the earrings. This will go inside the pendant, which is a necklace. This is a ring, and here's the oval piece of glass for that ring. And this is a clutch type bracelet. Everything is the ring is adjustable too. This is not fine jewelry, but it's truly customizable, hand painted, and beautiful. And here's the glass for this piece. So this is an example of antiqued brass, and I have a pour here that was pinks and mauves and browns and navy and white and metallic gold, and I loved this area here with the metallic golds. And so I've been moving my glass around, but this is what you do. Is I poured on sheet protectors that you put copy paper or notebook paper inside of. And I took the sheet protectors apart and I poured on those, which work beautifully. They're very thin, and it holds the paint really well, and it gives it something to cling to. So you want to make sure your glass pieces, I've had a paper towel and I really wiped them down good on the back and front. You want to make sure your hands are nice and clean, so there's no fingerprints. You want to make sure there's no cotton or any specks of dust or anything underneath the glass. And so I'm loving this area right here with a little bit of the navy and a little bit of mauve, but mostly the metallic gold. So what you do to start this whole process is you take this glass piece and you put a decent amount of glue down on it, and you lay it down on your acrylic skin, and it's going to float. It's going to be kind of slippery, but what it does is it magnifies your cells and your design, and you press on it and continue to wiggle it a little bit until all the air bubbles are out. And this is quite a large piece of glass, so it may take a little bit of time to set up. Usually it happens very quickly especially with these smaller pieces. But you'll be moving it around, and it'll have a point where it doesn't have much give anymore, where it's not going to want to move around. Then you know, I'm sliding it here just slightly, but I've got enough glue that it's good. Now it's starting to really stick, but you want to press it down really good and firm and slide it around until it kind of stops moving. Now that's got a lot of glue that's seeped out. Now this is one of the earring backs. I'm just basically putting a dot of glue on that. And before you do this process, you want to move your pieces around and find the optimum look that you want, and make sure it's cohesive as a group. Like right here, I really like that area. It's gold and a little bit of mauve and blue. So I'm just pressing down and slightly, very slightly, just moving it. And the smaller pieces like this, it'll stop moving. You don't want to slide it a lot, because that, you know, might add bubbles and things. And make sure if you do have any bubbles that come out of the bottle that they pop before you turn it over. I'm going to put this one here right beside it, and I'm just wiggling it just slightly. Make sure you can see that. I'm just wiggling it slightly, but I'm pressing. And that will press out any air bubbles and make it nice and firm underneath. Okay, this is for the bracelet, or the cuff wrist thing. So I put my glue down here. I'm not covering the whole piece, but in the center of it I've got a pretty good amount. And it'll spread out larger. When you press down, it's going to spread out larger than your glass is. I'm firmly pressing and slightly wiggling. And see, after they've sat for just a minute or so, they don't move. And that's what you want, is a nice, firm, tight seal. Try not to get the glue on your fingers and then onto the glass, because then you're going to have to clean it off, which can be done with jewelry cleaner. See, I can feel it on there already. Jewelry cleaner or alcohol will clean the glass up really pretty. Okay, and here's the piece that will go. This is the ring. This is for the ring with the oval shape. Okay, I'm going to put it about right there. Actually, I'm going to slide it a little bit this way. See, already this one is not moving. I've wiggled it and it's already nice and tight. Now, very carefully, I try to go around some of the edges, and I don't want to wipe that glue back on it, but just so it's not such a huge puddle of glue. I just got on the glass, and like I said, it can be cleaned off. It's not epoxy, but it's very similar to epoxy. So there's those pieces, and so those are going to go in my antique brass pieces here. So then what we're going to do, we've got those glued, and these have to sit for over 24 hours to be on the safe side, and then you'll cut it out. This is a meat tray. I just use it because there's some flexibility with it, and you can put things on it that are level. Because obviously these are not going to stand on your table because they're round. So the thing that I do to prep these, and this is a recommendation from the tutorial on Lily D's, is you place glue in each of these items. And I just have an old paintbrush. You're going to move the glue around and get up on all the edges on the inside of the tray of the piece that the glass goes in. So the bottoms and the inside, you don't want to get on the edges or anything like that, but you just want to, this one probably has a little bit too much. You can always just wipe it off on a paper towel if you put too much on. You don't want it so thick that it's makes your glass piece raised up off too much. You want the glass piece to be able to still sink down, but you're covering all that metal with glue. So what happens is when you put your acrylic piece that you've glued and you cut it out and you put it in here, you're going to put more glue in, and that glue is going to stick from the back of the piece of glass that has the acrylic skin on it. That glue is going to stick to this glue better. So you're going to have a better bond between your acrylic skin that's got some glue on it, and this will have some dried glue already. And I'll show you that all tomorrow when I bring you back to finish this project. This is so much fun to do. It doesn't require a lot of money. These are very, very reasonable. And you can create, with your skins, you can create any color combination you want and make your own custom jewelry. So I'm going to rinse this out and wash my hands. But this gets me prepared with my glued pieces and on the jewelry for tomorrow. I'll wait 24 hours, then we'll come back and we'll cut these out and glue them in, and you will see how beautiful they look. I just wanted you to see. I don't know if you can see the metallic. That's on this piece, the shimmer. It's so pretty. And it's going to look beautiful with the antique brass. And very quickly I'll show you so this is a set that I did several weeks ago. This one I even had some glitter that I sprinkled into the paint, the acrylic skins, while it was still wet. when I did my acrylic pour. So I've got this sparkly fine glitter, and then it's magnified through the glass, which makes it really neat. So there's the pendant. There's your ring that has the same, it's the same pour. And then earrings. And they all have that little bit of sparkle in them. I didn't do a bracelet with this set. Here's a bookmark. I don't think there's any glitter in that one, but it's just blues and a little brown. But a nice antique looking bookmark. So tomorrow, and I'm going to show you others tomorrow. This is it's a nautical keychain. So I'll glue a skin in there. This is so neat. It's a turtle. It has little fins or whatever you want to call them. They're not wings. They're not, I guess they're fins. Arms of the turtle. And this is just where the necklace chain goes through for the head. So it's not a turtle head. It's just where the chain goes through that loop there. But I thought that is really cute. So this is antique silver. Here's an antique chain, and there's different styles of chains too. And here's an antique silver ring. And this is a little bit more antiqued, but I still use it as a set. And this is one that I had from another set, but I don't have any empty ones that I don't already have some colored jewel, you know, already skins that are made and poured in and everything. But this is the cuff that's a little bit more modern, and it's in the antique silver. So I wanted to show you that. So like these are all antiqued silver. You see the antique brass, which obviously is that color. And here's an example of, there's another turtle pendant. Here's the chain. Here's earrings. The silver earrings don't come antiqued. There's not enough of it that shows to where it matters. You're just going to have that piece of glass on top, and you're going to have that skin underneath, and you only see a hair, a bit of the silver around the edge. So they don't offer the antique silver in the earrings. But I wanted to show you the difference between the shiny silver and the antique silver. There's the antique. There's the shiny. So when you get the skin in there, you're not going to see what's down here. You're only going to see what's on the outside, and so you really can't tell a whole lot of difference. There is a little black in the edges that's not on the straight out shiny silver. That's the only difference. The ring, obviously you can see the antiquing there. You see the black. And you won't see this part because that's where your skin and your glass will go. But that shows you how it's antiqued and not a bright shiny silver. So I'm going to glue some more skins, and you can watch me do that. And then tomorrow I'll do a video where I cut all the skins out and glue them into the pieces. So thanks for joining me, and I'll be back. Okay, this is sat overnight for 24 hours. So the glue is dry, and I'm going to very carefully cut around. And I'm still saving these pieces for other future projects. So I cut as close as I can to the glass, because I do want to keep as much of this beautiful pour as I can, so I can still use these pieces later on for other jewelry. So you just take your scissors and trim as closely to the glass as you can. Get as close as you can to the edge of the glass. And I can see some glue. I'm just kind of scraping it. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little glue. I'm just scraping it with my fingernail. On the edges of the glass. They also suggest that you can use an emery board. I've never done that, but you can use an emery board. Because the glue is a little bit rubbery, I just don't use the emery board. I just use my fingernails and cut it with the scissors. You can also use an X-Acto knife or the razor knife, like a utility knife, but I feel like I just get enough control with my scissors. Just showing you how, see the metallic gold in there? Isn't that beautiful? So there's the largest piece. I'll switch scissors. Now I'm going to separate all these pieces because it's easier to cut when you have smaller pieces that you can control and turn with it being round. If anything, if you angle your scissors, and I angle them out so that you're cutting away from the paint. If you cut in, your piece is going to still hang out over the edge. So I angle out just a little bit. Don't do it too much, because then you're going to cut out the paint that's underneath the edge of the glass. So I'm just trimming up the little pieces I can see. See on the back side, you can see the other side of the paint. Now, this is not, well, it is, okay. This is the sheet protectors that I poured on, and the piece does peel off. I wasn't sure if it would. When you do photo paper, let me show you a piece of photo paper. These are the kind of pieces that you can put through a printer. This is like a 4x6 photo paper. I pour on these. This sticks to the photo paper like glue. I mean, you cannot get it off. So when you cut these out, you still have the white back side. It says Canon. You have the white back side of the photo paper still showing. But if you put your acrylic skins on the plastic sheet protectors, you can peel off the back. And this craft paper that I use to do all my pourings, this is perfect for pouring skins on. Here's a piece of craft paper that has a shiny side and then a paper side. And this shiny side is a plastic coating, and when your skin's dry, you can glue your glass down on the skin like I did before. You cut it out and then you peel this white piece of paper off the back of it. I wasn't sure if the sheet protector was going to work that way, but it did. So there's that piece, and here's the big piece. You just take your fingernail and catch the edge. Be very careful. And there's the piece of plastic that came off, and this is strictly the paint. This dried perfectly flat. So this is for the ring. So catching that edge there, take the plastic off. That one's ready. This is for the bracelet. And I use quite a bit of glue. So the glue around the edges of these is pretty thick. It's not that thick around the earring pieces, but especially the big piece, because when you put glue in and you press it on your acrylic skins and you push it, that glue is going to squirt out, and that's why you keep pressing to get rid of all the bubbles and underneath. So you don't have as much mess around the edges on the smaller pieces of glass. So the key is you don't want to see any edges of paper or paint or whatever on the edge of your glass. Peel that off. So I'm showing you this whole process for this one particular set of jewelry that's going in the antique brass bezels. The rest of the video, you're going to see me gluing glass onto different pieces of the acrylic skins, different colors and things, because I'm going to make several sets. See, I can feel the glue. I got it on the glass here. I can feel it with my fingernail. So what I'm going to do too is show you rubbing alcohol. This is good to clean the glass with. If you have glue or residue that got on your fingers, you know, or on the edges, you can kind of manipulate it and scrape it off with your fingernail and keep working on it with the alcohol, or you can use fingernail polish remover. Looks like I got that on pretty thick. So there it comes finally. And you want to just, you know, move it around and look at all your glass surface and the reflection of the light and make sure that you've got all the glue off of it. It's not wet glue, it's dried glue from when I put it on the paper last night. Okay, so that piece is off. And then you can just clean any of them just to make sure there's no residue of glue. I see a little bit around this one too because it was bigger. You want to make sure and not scrape that paint on the bottom side though, because that is strictly acrylic paint, and if you scrape that with your fingernail, it's going to come off the glass. It is glued to the glass, but you know, if you put a fingernail through it or anything sharp, it's going to pull it away. So now we go back to the Lily Glaze glue. Put it in the bezel. Move it around, get the inside edges. And I got too much paint glue in there, so I'm gonna take some from here and put it in this bracelet cuff. But make sure you get the edges of the inside of the tray. And then you put your glass piece into the tray, or the bezel, and you push down and hold. While I'm pushing, I'm still scraping some glue off here that I can see. And then also, if any excess glue comes out when you push your glass into the little tray area, you can wipe it off with your alcohol on your paper towel. You just have to move it around and look at the different reflections on the glass, and then you'll be able to see if it looks cloudy at all. That's where your glue is dried on the outside of the glass. And it sets up very quickly. So this glue is going to adhere, this glue here is going to adhere to the back of this. So you don't have to, but I'm just lightly coating the back of that too. So when you stick this in, move it around, push it. Some pieces like this fit in very snugly. But on this, there's a little give. You can kind of move it around a bit. So just push it in nice and tight. And I can see glue coming up around the edges. So you just wipe it off as quickly as you can. because it is glue, and once it dries, you don't want it on your metal piece, and you don't want it on your glass, because that will obviously change the shininess of the glass if you have any glue that's dried. And it takes very little in the earrings. Go around all the edges inside. And then just drop your glass cabochons into the little trays. Give it a nice firm squeeze. Excuse my dirty fingernails, it's paint. I have paint in the cracks of my skin and in my fingernails. Then take your damp paper towel with the alcohol on it, clean it up around the edges. The last one is the ring. And if you don't rinse this out very quickly, it's going to dry up too. Just drop it in, press firmly, and then use your damp paper. It can be a damp paper towel that's just damp with water. But if there's any glue residue, you want to remove it with the alcohol or fingernail polish remover. So I keep squeezing the first 20 or 30 seconds you put it in, because you want it to seal really nice and tight. Get that cap back on the glue as quickly as you can. You don't want it sitting open while it's still kind of damp or not quite dried up. See, I see the glue, and I'm just scraping it off with my fingernail around the edges. So there's the pendant. The bracelet. Ring, and the earrings. So you have a beautiful set of jewelry, very inexpensively, and made to whatever colors you want according to whatever pours you do on the craft paper or photo paper or plastic. I think you can even pour it on probably saran wrap, even though saran wrap kind of gets questionable because if you move it around, it sticks together and all that, and it's hard to pick up. And you can pick up this craft paper when it's got paint on it. There's some weight to it, and I've cut it in smaller pieces, and you can pick this up very easily, whereas saran wrap is just going to be all loose and flopping and all that. And then the photo paper is nice and firm and fairly heavyweight, but not thick. It's very thin, so it's a good surface too. And here's a piece from the sheet protector, and that's where I just separated the edges of the sheet protector. And so here it is on, it's plastic, but it's thin, and this is what I used for these items. And I just peeled off the plastic off the back and glued them right into their places they're going to be staying. I see some more glue on that. Once you set these into the jewelry pieces, you could probably go ahead and wear them right away, because once that glue is in there, it sets up pretty quickly. You know, it'd probably be good to let it dry at least a few hours, but you know, you could really almost wear it instantly because it's set in there pretty good. And you don't want to clean this in jewelry cleaner or, you know, immerse it in anything. If you need to clean it, you would just want to wipe it off with alcohol or a warm soapy, you know, cloth or paper towel. You don't want to soak this in anything. It's not fine jewelry. It's just, you know, kind of like costume jewelry that's handmade, and you treat it special because it is handmade. So the rest of the video I'm going to speed up and just show me gluing pieces onto my acrylic skins if you want to watch and enjoy the process. Thank you. Okay, so I've glued the glass. Everything's dried overnight, so it's the next day, and I already took the stuff, I put it in groupings so I can remember what I had planned on going in which ones. But just make sure when you put your jewelry in to like this is a meat tray, you make sure that all of your pieces, like earrings, I do them on the edges of, because there's a curve, but you make sure that your surfaces are totally flat when you put the glue onto them, because remember, we're gluing the backs of the glass cabochons, we're gluing the backs onto the, you know, well, we're gluing them onto here, onto the paper or skins, whatever we have our skins on. We're gluing them onto there first, but we're also putting a layer of glue inside of the metal so that when we take these and glue them into these pieces, we're going to put glue again. It's just that extra layer of glue and bonding that are important. So I just wanted to show you to make sure, no matter what kind of, like if you have a bracelet, that's what the bigger slashes are here for. When you put that bracelet in, make sure the piece that's going in, that's level. So your glue goes in, because if you put your glue in here and then you lay it down like that, the glue is going to drip out and it's going to dry funky. So it needs to be flat and level surfaces. Okay, So I've got me a damp paper towel, some alcohol, some lily glaze, which is the glue, and I'm going to start right away. And you don't have to have a nice paintbrush. It can be an old one that's kind of messed up, but you do need something to spread the glue around. So I'm going to start on this first set, and I've already cut everything out but these last pieces. Let me do that real quick. So remember, you're just cutting around the glass surface of your skin. Get up as close to that glass as you can. And make sure you don't see any pieces sticking out on the edges. Okay, this was done on photo paper. I just wanted to show you that. It's white, it says Canon, so this is on photo paper. It will not, the Canon photo paper will not peel off your skin, so don't try or you will rip your skin off the glued side of the glass. So you cut that paper or whatever you've poured on. It could be plastic, like the sheet protectors I've used. One last earring. Now I'm getting out of the camera view when I get those final pieces. Okay. So I've cut out all of my pieces, and I did that on the rest of them before I started this part of the video, so that you could already go ahead and see without having to watch me cut every piece. Okay, so this pour was on a sheet protector, and you just take your fingernail and very lightly catch the edge of the surface. So you're looking at straight paint that is glued onto the back of that glass. That's straight paint. And then the pendant piece, the same thing. Take the edge of your fingernail, pull it away. So that's ready to go. These were done on photo paper. It's white. I can see the word Canon on it, so I cannot peel that photo paper off. It will take that paint and everything, because that paint sticks really well to the photo paper. So I'm not going to remove anything on that. This is also Canon photo paper, so I won't be removing that one. I see a little rough edge there. This was done on the plastic sheet protector. So I peel that off. Peel that off. This one, that was done on photo paper too. So that cannot be peeled off. Okay, so we have all our pieces. I'm gonna take the top off the alcohol in case I need it. And you're gonna watch me just glue all the pieces in one by one. I'm gonna speed up the video and then I'll talk to you when I'm finished. Okay, so here are the finished pieces that we worked on. This is the first one I did. The bracelet, the pendant, the ring, and the earrings. There's one set. Here's the nautical keychain. That we just glued into the pendant. Here's a little sea turtle and its ring. There's a triangular pendant and its ring. There's the purple and the earrings. There is another sea turtle and earrings. So those were the projects, the finished look. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Remember to tell your friend or whoever you make these for, or if it's for yourself, whomever is going to end up with this jewelry, make sure to tell them it is not fine jewelry. It cannot be immersed in some liquid, like jewelry cleaner or whatever. Tell them it's handmade, and anything handmade has to be treated with special care. So they can softly wipe it down with a warm, soapy cloth or paper towel, but do not have them immerse it in jewelry cleaner or anything like that. Okay? So I hope you have had fun watching the video. I hope that you have fun attempting to do this. If you decide to do it, it's addictive. It really is. It's fun to do. And I would love you to give me a thumbs up, or if you want to comment, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.